guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I will be solving this machine coding round interview question, that is progress bar. So if you are preparing for your next front-end interview, so there is a high chance that you will get this question in your interview. So let's start by implementing. Okay, let's start creating our progress bar. So as you can see that I have a basic template ready, nothing fancy here. I have just created a basic HTML file having a header tag and a basic CSS file to center the heading. So let's first start by creating some points what we have to do. So first point is I have to create a run button that will have a value inside it. Second point is whenever I will click the button, the value should increase by 1. Third point is I have to create a progress bar whose width keep on increasing from 0 to 100 after clicking on button. Cool. And one thing I have to keep in mind that in this progress should keep on running till the value inside the button is not 0. So these are the basic starting point. Let's start one by one. First is I have to create a run button. Okay, let me just create one button. So first of all, button, let me give ID to this button, run button. Okay, this will have run. Cool. Inside it I should have a value. So for that I will create a span tag. Let me give this ID to this span tag also. Run button counter. Now run button is ready. Now what I have to do is value inside. The first point is done. Second one is whenever I will click the button, the value should increase by 1. Okay. So when I will click this button, the value should increase. So for that we have to go to our JavaScript. First of all, I need to get the button in my JavaScript. So run button is equal to document dot query selector. As I have defined the button by ID, so I will use hash run button. Okay. Similarly, I can do one thing. I can copy and paste here. Run button counter. Run button counter. Cool. So to get the click, I need to add the add event listener. So how I will do that? Run button dot add event listener click handle run button click. Handle run button click will be a function. We have to perform some action here. Okay, let me first check if this is working or not. Button click. Cool, this is working. So on clicking on this, I have to basically increase the value of this. So how I will do that? I will basically create a variable here, that is counter variable, and initial value should be 0. On clicking of this, counter should be equal to counter plus 1. Okay, counter plus 1. Also I need to show this value in my HTML. So how I will do that? I have run button counter button counter dot inner text is equal to counter. Let me quickly save and see the result. Cool, this is working. So our second point, whenever I will click the button, the value should increase by 1 is complete. Now let's move to the third part. I have to create a progress bar whose width keep on increasing from 0 to 100 after clicking on button. Okay, so for that I have to go to my HTML again. I will first create a progress container. Okay, so let me quickly style this. So for styling this, I will have, let's say, width is equal to 140 pixel. Height should be, let's say, 40 pixel, and border should be 1 pixel solid black. Okay. So width is looking a little less, so I will increase the width to 40. This is looking good. Also I need to get some margin here, so margin bottom, let's say 20 pixel. Cool. Now this is looking good. Now I need to show the progress inside this. So for that I need to create a child of this div class progress, and also I can give ID to this also, progress bar, let's say. So for progress, let's say I have background color is equal to blue. Height is same 40 pixel. Class is progress. Let's say width, initially width is 40%. Cool. So now we have styled the progress. Now what we have to do, we have to basically increase the progress from 0 to 100 on clicking on this button. Okay, let me go to my JavaScript. On clicking on button, we have already have a button event listener here. So for that I have to basically, let's say I will create one progress function here. Okay, I will create a function. First progress function is equal to in this progress basically. So what we want that on every specific interval this progress should get increased. So for that I have to create an interval. Let interval is equal to set interval. That will take one callback function and the amount of interval, let's say 1 second in our case. On every interval, if let me drag this up. For that I have to create one variable here, progress value. Initial it should be 0. If progress value is less than 100, then we have to do something else. We have to do something. If its value is less than 100, I have to increase the progress value by let's say 20, and I have to update the HTML also. So for that I have to get the progress bar in our JavaScript. So for that I have to create progress bar is equal to document dot query selector hash progress bar. Okay, so progress bar, I have to update the value of progress bar. So progress bar dot inner text is equal to progress value. So in CSS, let me do this 0% initially. It is taking bit to save. Okay, it is now saved. Okay, now let me click to the button. Oh, we see value. Okay. So I have to basically note in a text, I have to basically style it. Style dot width is equal to progress value. So I have to basically set the width to this value percentage. Let me save this and now see the result. Cool, this is done. Now we have handled this case, but we have to handle the else case also. Else what we have to do? In else I have to basically decrease the value of counter by 1. So counter is equal to counter minus 1 progress value should be equal to 0, and I need to basically update my counter and my progress bar. Okay, so let me click the button and check the progress. 40, 60, 80, 100. Okay. Oh, it is again started. Why? It is again started because we have not clear our interval here. This interval is again getting started. So in else case I have to clear my interval also. Now let me check. Boom, it is now working. Now let me check one more thing. Let me click couple of times. You see that something is not right here. So why this is happening? So currently what is happening is whenever I am clicking this button, this progress function is getting called. That should not be the case. So I have to basically add one condition here. If our counter value is 1, then only run this. So let me save this. I am clicking 3 times. Counter value is not defined. What is the value is counter? Okay, clear concept. So let me click 3-4 times, and this should run only once. No. Cool. Now if counter value is 1, this function got run, and after running this, in else condition, it comes to else condition when this progress is completed. So when progress is completed, and if counter is not equal to or is greater than 0, if we have already something in counter, then we have to basically run this function again. Which function? Progress function. So let me save this and let me click 2 times. Now this looks fine. Progress is made, counter is reduced, and next progress is running. Cool. Cool. So you see what is happening in this case. So whenever I am clicking this button, this function is getting executed. This counter value is increased. So in first case the counter value is 1, and as the counter value is 1, this condition is getting executed. So as our progress function. But as I am clicking the button continuously, this counter value keep on increasing. But this condition will fail and this function will not execute. So let's say now our counter value is 3. So the progress is completed for first case and it comes to else case. Now it will do everything, clear intervals and all that stuff. Now it sees that counter value is still greater than 1, because after reducing one value from 3, the counter value will be 2. So this condition will run and this progress function will again get executed. So this loop will keep on executing. After the counter value becomes 0, this line will not get executed and our function will stop here. So this is how this progress bar will work. So let me do some styling here. This run button is not looking good here. Let me do some styling for run button. So for run button we have some IDs. So let me add class here also. Class will be run button, let's say, same only. Let's say I will do background color green, background color green, height is, let's say, 40 pixel, width let's say 80 pixel. Also let me set the border also. Border 1 pixel solid green. This is looking good now. Let me change the color of text also. Color should be white. Now this is looking good. Now let me do some cleanup in our JavaScript file also. We can see that this line of code is getting executed twice. Okay, so let me create a function for it. Update progress value. This will basically get progress value and will execute this line of code. Cool. Similarly, we have this repetition also. So let me create a function for this also. Update counter value. This will take counter as a parameter. I will pick up this code from here and paste here. So let me quickly use these functions. Similarly here and here. Nice. Similarly update progress value. Progress value. Let me save this and check if this is working fine or not. Cool, this is working fine. So this is done. Let me add some more functionality to this. So let me add some more buttons here. So when we run this, we should be able to stop this progress also. So how we will do that? First of all, we need to create a stop button here. Button stop. This will not have any counter value. ID should be stop button. class should be stop button. Also let us add some common classes for styling. Button. Cool. Let me save this. Stop button is here. We need to basically take this button in one line. I will copy the button code here. Class button container. Button container. Let me add display to flags. This will be sorted. Correct. This is sorted. I need to add some margin also. So let me add one class for margin. Margin right. Margin right 10 pixel. I will copy this class and put it in here. Nice. So let me style stop button also. Stop button. This all common classes should go to button class. Height, width, border and color. It should go to button, and for one button it is background color. Cool. For stop button background should be that, and border color also should be that. Now this button is looking good. Let me do one more thing. I will add one more class here. Cursor pointer. Cool. Now what this stop button will do, stop button will stop the progress. So for that I have to get this button in our JavaScript first. Is one button. Let me copy and paste this. Rename this to what is happening? Rename this to stop button, and here also stop button, and stop button basically stop button dot add event listener handle stop button click. Okay. So on clicking on stop button, I have to stop the progress. So for that I have to clean the interval. But the interval is defined here. I have to take this interval variable on top. Interval is equal to null initially, and save this. Okay, so on clicking the stop button, I will simply clear my interval. Also, we'll add one condition here. If our counter is greater than 0, if we have something in our counter, then only we need to execute this thing. So let me try this. This progress is running. Stop. Cool. Progress is there, counter is there, and stop is working now. Also, if you have created a stop, we should have the functionality to resume this execution. So for that I need one more button here. Let me name this as replay. Replay button. Margin right 10 here, and class should also be replay button. Cool. So I will copy this replay. Background, let us do the background color blue only. Border colors will also be blue. Cool. So let me run this once. And stop the execution. Now on clicking the replay button, this progress should replay. So for that I will get replay button in my JavaScript. Similar execution replay. We replace this by replay. Also we'll copy and paste this replay and done replay button click. Okay, and this button is ready. But on clicking on this button, I will do one thing. I will call this function. The progress function. So progress will get started because we have value in our progress value. We have everything in our counter. So we will execute this. Let me try. Stop. Replay. Cool. Stop. Replay. Cool. This is good. So let me check if we have any edge case here. So we have not executed a progress bar. If we click on the replay button, this executes because we are calling progress function in this case. So let me handle this. First of all, this replace should execute. So to solve this, I have to basically add one condition here. If counter is greater than 0, then only this progress should run. Now let me save this. Let me execute this. This is not running. Let me try running this. Stop. Replay. Replay. Cool. This is working now. So we can add one more button here. That will be clear button. So on clicking on that button, everything will be reset. Clear button or reset button. So let me follow the same procedure again. Clear button. Margin right 10. Oops. Margin right 10. Let me copy the styling also. Background color should be, let's say, gray in this case, and border color should also be gray in this case. Replay button, clear button. So similarly we will get our button in JavaScript. Clear button. I will add event listener for clear button also. Handle clear button click. So on clicking on clear button, everything should be clear. So counter value should be 0, progress value should be 0, and we will call our reusable functions here. This is clear. Also I need to clear our interval. Clear interval, and this should also run if our counter has some value. Let me check if this is working. Run 2 times. Clear. Replay. Not working. Stop, nothing. Cool. Let me run 4-5 times. Let this complete the progress. Clear. Run. Stop. Replay. Clear. So yeah, this is the implementation of progress bar. So if you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe and share it with your friend. Also stay tuned for more such videos. Till then, bye bye.